All right, what is up, my peeps? Joshua Smith here with another GSD Mode podcast weekly real estate tip. And today I'm here to break down how to build and scale a successful and profitable real estate team. I'm actually going to walk you through 9 different steps. Now, these are 9 steps, 9 essential things that in my experience of being a team leader for 19 years, being in the industry for 20 years, started my team 19 years ago and creating and building one of the top teams in the US as well as one of the top teams on the planet, was selling well over 7,000 homes, being named and voted 30th top realtor and team leader in the United States. These are 9 things that, man, I had to learn the hard way. Now, my hope today is by sharing these with you, that way I can help you avoid all the pain and suffering and money loss that I went through on my journey of figuring this stuff out. You know, because when I started a team 19 years ago, teams weren't the thing that they are today. They weren't really popular. I kind of had to jump off the cliff and build the parachute the way down. Now, I want to walk you through, again, the 9 essential things. If you want to build and scale a successful, profitable team, profitable being a key term there, you know, a lot of people will jump into developing and building a team to get to the point where their whole entire journey of being a team leader, they're less profitable than when they were an individual agent. The whole reason we want to build a team is so we can continue to make more money, but then also at the same time, over time, if we do this right and build this right, eventually also then give ourselves more autonomy, more time, more freedom, so we can make the money that we want to make, but then go out there and live the lives that we want to go out there and live inside of our business, inside of our life. So again, 9 steps I'm going to walk you through here today. Now, real quick, before I jump into these 9 steps, make sure to check out gsdmode.com for more additional free training, more additional free resources. On there, you can book a 100% free Zoom coaching strategy call with me personally. So if you want to jump on an hour-long Zoom call where we can break down, assess your real estate business, where you're at, what your current 12-month goals are, what your long-term goals are, what you're doing, go through, again, your situation, I can help map out to make sure that you have the best strategy plan in place. Again, those are 100% free, 60-minute in-depth Zoom coaching call. All those things that you can do on gsdmode.com. Okay, so let's jump into these 9 different steps. And all of these are essential. My recommendation is not to be like, oh, well, Josh, I'm going to pick 1, 3, 6, 8, and 9. Right? My recommendation is take all 9 of these really important, really seriously, to allow you to, again, grow, scale in the quickest way possible and the easiest way possible, to remove a lot of that resistance, a lot of that friction, but then also to do this to ensure you continue to make money, and that way you don't go broke. I see so many damn team leaders end up going broke, which we'll explain as I'm going through these different 9 steps here with you. Okay, so step number 1 is, now this is for those of you that are starting off your team or getting ready to start off your team, is my recommendation here is you start a team not out of want, but you start it out of necessity. So there's nothing wrong with wanting to build and create a real estate team, but you do it when the timing is right, when it's necessary for you to go out there and create it. Because why do we start adding people? We start adding people as an element of leverage so we can continue to grow and scale. I talk to a lot of people in this industry, a lot of realtors that, I don't know, maybe popping 12, 17 units a year, whatever that may be. And there's just not enough, like they're not at a capacity yet. They haven't developed the skill sets and haven't been able to develop the client acquisition skill sets and get their business to a point where it really yet makes sense for them. So again, there's nothing wrong with wanting to do it, but my recommendation of when you pull that trigger is when you do it when it's necessary. So an example of my journey, you know, okay, my first year did 48 deals as an individual agent my first year. Now, got to the point, this was back in 2005, so we didn't quite yet have all the technology that we have today. So our capacities were maybe a little bit lower back then. But anyway, nonetheless, that was my capacity, meaning that I wanted to double my business going into the next year. But I was like, dude, I'm already working as many hours as humanly possible, working 6, 7 days a week. There's no more hours in a day. I couldn't fathom how, even if I dial in my systems, processes, get operating as effectively and efficiently as possible, I couldn't fathom how I could go out there and double my business. There's no way that I could really mind map and think through how that was possible. So then I start off by hiring a full-time admin to take all the essential non-money making activities off my plate, so I could allocate like 90% of my time onto just money-making activities, meaning setting appointments, conducting appointments, negotiating contracts. That brought me from 48 deals to 103. Now then I hit that next phase where now I'm at another capacity. I'm 2 to 3 weeks being booked out. So when new buyers, new sellers wanted to meet with me to have a discussion about buying and selling a home, now I'm 2 to 3 weeks booked out. Now, nobody's going to wait 2 to 3 weeks. They might wait 2 or 3 days, but they're not going to wait 2 or 3 weeks. So then now I realize, okay, I'm just pissing away money. I'm losing away, losing this money, losing these opportunities. So I started bringing on agents because it was necessary for me to continue to grow and scale my business. Now, I wanted to build a team early on. I had a mentor that had a very successful team. Like, I wanted to build a team from the second I got into this business. But I waited until the timing was right. So again, my recommendation number one is to start a team out of necessity. Don't do this when you just want to do it. Don't do it prematurely. Do it out of necessity. Okay, so number two, learning to play what I call red light, green light time allocation. So it's a super unsexy name. I got to come up with a better name that's not so long. But what I mean by red light, green light time allocation, and this is actually the biggest Achilles heel that I see on team leaders and brokerage owners in those beginning phases. So here's what happens is, okay, you start bringing on, you got some admin on, now you're starting to bring on some agents. You're super excited. It's new. That novelty's there. We want to be there for our agents. So we start pouring time into recruiting and supporting our agents. Well, then though, we allow so much of our time to go into our agents where our time then gets so pulled away from our own personal production. Well, now all of a sudden our personal production falls off of a cliff. Our agents' production isn't up yet. And then boom, now we are in a shit ton of trouble. So what I mean by red light, green light time allocation, here's what I want you to do is I want you to track your numbers separately. So we got your numbers for your production, because in these beginning stages, you're still going to be producing, especially in these infancy beginning stages until we can get you out of production. And you follow this red light, green light time allocation all the way until we get you and your team or your brokerage to the point where you're fully out of production, right? So we want to assess, okay, how much of the revenue is coming in from your own personal production versus the revenue coming in from your agents. You don't need to do two actual separate profit and loss statements, but we want to be able to separate the revenue out very quickly. So here's an example. Let's just say you've got 5 agents on your team right now currently, and you're still in production. So let's just say as an example, your production is 80% of the company revenue coming in. Your agent's production is 20%. So we need to match your time, your focus, your energy based on revenue. So what we would do here is we would then allocate 80% of your time, energy, focus to your production, because that's 80% of your revenue, 20% towards your agents, to supporting your agents. So that 20% here is going to include recruiting, onboarding, training, support. Now we're going to, now that we've allocated that time, now we play red light, right? And we want to continue that in place until, okay, your agent's production now goes from 20% of the revenue. Now that kicks up to 30%. Now we play green light, where then we adjust your time to 70-30. Right? Then we stick there, play red light until now we can move this up to 60-40, and then continue playing red light, green light, just like we did when we were kids. And this is how over time you're able to get yourself out of production without having to take a dip in revenue and without getting yourself in financial trouble here. Now, the key here is to make sure that your systems and your processes are so dialed in and so refined with your agents. So even in those beginning stages, when you can only give 20% of your time towards your agents, we're doing it in such an effective and an efficient manner that allows their production to go from 20% to 30%, 30% to 40%. So really, really important. So item number 2 is learning to play what I call red light, green light time allocation. Okay, item number 3, step number 3 here is getting your systems and processes dialed in. This is going to sound really odd when I say this, but your ability of being a highly successful team leader has very little to do with your ability of being a great realtor. Now, yeah, being a great realtor and getting you to your own capacity and being a great realtor, having that knowledge, have that expertise, will definitely, number one, that's necessary to get you to the point where you're starting to create a team, and will definitely help you be able to support your agents. But I know a lot of great realtors that were great at lead gen, lead follow-up, but are great, knowledgeable realtors at being able to provide an amazing service to their clients, but they don't learn systems and processes. They don't learn how to become a great operator, and they fail miserably as a team leader. So we need to hone in your systems and processes. Why are systems and processes so essential, especially when we're building an element of a team? And now how I define a team is more than one. So like the second I hired my first assistant, That was me now operating and running a team. Now, I'm not talking about for award purposes or any of that. I know that you can have an assistant and still go out there and apply for individual agent awards. What I'm just using this as business language. When you have more than one human being, more than one mind, where their full-time focus is on helping the growth of your business, more than one is now a team. You got a team of people teaming up together with the focus, the goal, the objective of growth of your organization. Now, I don't care how good somebody is. If they do not have great systems and processes to plug into, they can never show you their greatness. Okay, what are systems and processes? Processes are just step by step. So it's just breakdowns of the steps of what you do inside your organization. So anything done more than once inside your real estate business needs a broken down process. Then those processes live inside of systems to ensure that those processes are executed on the same way each and every single time to ensure things do not get missed. And then this allows you as the leader to inspect what you expect. And I'm telling you, we talked about this a moment ago, but with the red light, green light time allocation and being extremely effective and efficient, with managing your people. So the sooner and the quicker that you can learn to understand that as a leader, your job is to create the system, and then you oversee the system. The systems then manage your people and hold your people accountable. The sooner that you can grasp that concept, the better. So it's like, okay, inside my team, I just got to spend a few minutes every single day going through all of our systems, going through all of our going through our trackers, going through all of our systems to QC every single person inside of our organization. So I don't have to micromanage people. Like the systems that manage them, the systems hold them accountable. I just log in and make sure everybody's doing their job. So it's like, boom, okay, here's our 58-step contract to close process, shows exactly what's due, when it's due, who it's due by, gives alerts, gives notifications. I get alerted if anything's behind, all of those things. So we want to make sure that anything done more than once inside of our business, we have a detailed process for it, and that process lives inside of a system. Okay, step number 4 is making sure that your tracking systems are dialed in. And then speaking of tracking, so this is kind of a 2-step, right? So we want to make sure that your tracking systems are dialed in, but then also how you are allocating your agent opportunities inside your organization is based off of that track data. So I'm talking about tracking. You hear me talk about tracking so much here in the podcast. So for you and for each of your agents, yes, we need to know things like how many leads per lead source are they getting, what's the cost per lead, how many reach outs, how many conversations, appointment set, appointment conductions, clients closings, because you got to, number one, make sure that they are doing their job. Like when I bring on an agent, I'm investing in leads for them. I'm taking a risk up front to invest in leads for them up front. Okay, I got to make sure that they are following my protocol, my process to a T. And I had that conversation with them up front that, hey, here's the arrangement. I'm taking a gamble, I'm taking a risk, and I'm investing in you up front with the agreement that you are giving me your word, you are giving me your commitment, that you are going to follow my process to an absolute T. You're going to work my leads exactly how I tell you to work my leads. And if you work them in the exact manner that I tell you to work them, look, you're going to have great conversion ratios. You're going to be kicking ass. You're going to be making money. I'm going to be making money. This relationship continues. The second you break your commitment to me is the second I need to break my commitment to you. And that's where the leads are going to stop, right? So we got to make sure that everybody's on the same page with that. Okay, if somebody doesn't, like the first day, one day goes by where they don't follow my process and honor their commitment, honor their word. They're put on a 7-day performance improvement plan, gives them 7 days to get their crap together. If they don't get their crap together in that 7 days, okay, then we have some more conversations and some other things to figure out there, right? But then from there, like the only way that's possible is for me to track. So I got to be tracking for that. You also, as a team leader, you want to be tracking, okay, how much energy and effort does it take you to recruit an agent? So, okay, what are your recruiting strategies? Treating recruiting just like you do lead gen for buyers and sellers. So, let's just say you got 3 pillars for lead gen. Okay, well, how many leads, how many reach outs, how many conversations, appointment set, appointment conductions, 2 agent hires. So I want to know how much energy and effort it takes me to recruit an agent. Then I want to be tracking and measuring how long is an agent with me before they pop their first deal, before now they are contributing to average agent productivity, how long, so that's going to be our onboarding time. And then from there, I want to track, of course, average agent productivity. average agent commissions, average agent productivity, and then how long that they're with me on average before they leave. Because if you are running a team, people are going to leave you, or if you have a brokerage, people are going to leave. So I want to know what my overall turnover rate, what my churn attrition rate is, all of that. So now I can identify the lifetime value of an agent, especially if you're going big with this, and eventually you're going to be hiring recruiters and leadership team. All of this stuff is essential. So we got to make sure that your tracking is dialed in, because I'm telling you right now, you will get crushed and murdered. It's already hard enough as an individual agent if you're not tracking your numbers. You might be able to get away with it and do okay. You're never going to go at a high level as an individual agent if you're not tracking your numbers. But I'll tell you this right now, as a team leader, you will be in nothing but a lot of pain if you don't track your numbers and take this serious. As I said earlier, it's he or she that's the greatest operator that's going to win, especially when you get to the team lead level. Then when it comes to delivering agent opportunities, okay, this is going to be based on, their conversion rates. Okay, if you got an agent over here that's converting at 10% in this lead source, then you got an agent over here that's converting at 3%, are you going to give them the same amount of opportunities? I'm sure as shit not. Like, I'm going to, just like if you've got any investment, think of your agents as investments when you are investing time, energy, leads, money into them. I'm going to match those investments based on the return that I'm getting. So whether it's my time, also whether it's my money, I'm going to then make sure that I'm delivering the opportunities to those that are most committed, to those that are truly mastering the process, to those that are truly mastering the skill set, those that are truly performing at the highest level. So, we want to match opportunities, based on their overall conversions. Then tracking also, and I'll get off tracking here in a second, but tracking also, because look, to be a great team leader, you got to learn to be a good coach to your people. Well, so if I have an agent, maybe they are putting in the work. Like I can have agent A and agent B following the same process, doing the same work, but agent A might be converting 50% higher than agent B. Well, that could be a skill set thing, right? So then I've got to see, okay, where are they falling short? Where do I need to be able to coach them up, right? So I can get them to become freaking rock stars. Okay, so step number 5 is you must master the hiring process. And the hiring process is going to be twofold. You got to master a hiring admin. You got to know who to hire, when to hire, how to interview them, how to test them for their proficiency, and make sure that you are hiring great, amazing people. There's not much more painful, especially on the admin side, than when you get this wrong and you hire the wrong people. Then you got to make sure that you're also mastering agent recruiting. And this is a huge mistake that I made. I spent so much damn time early in my career mastering lead gen, lead follow-up, listing presentations, buyer presentations. And then for the first several years of building my team, I was just winging agent recruiting. I didn't master my pitch delivery. I didn't master these things. I didn't give it the same intention that I did, like a listing presentation or a buyer presentation, and it hurt my business on a huge level. So you want to master these, get these honed in, get these dialed in. Okay, step number 6 is make sure that you are on mastering your agent onboarding and then your resources that you're providing your agents. So when I say onboarding, so I go recruit an agent. Now, when I bring them on, the second that they sign our ICA, sign our team agreement, from the second they sign that until they start producing and contributing to per average agent productivity, that they're then classified in what I call onboarding stage. So how you bring somebody on, how you onboard them sets the speed and the stage for the rest of their career. So the quicker that you can get them popping deals, the quicker that you can get them producing, the better that you can simplify the onboarding process. So like for me, I put all my agents through a 14-day onboarding process, and I just want to cover the essential things that they must know, they must get dialed in to start popping deals. Look, we got a whole years together, a whole career together to master all the other shit. I just want to add those first 14 days. So what am I doing in those 14 days? Getting their tracking system dialed in, making sure that they understand that, know how to use that. Getting their CRM dialed in, getting their buyer listing presentation dialed in and mastered. Their sphere of influence past client strategy plan. And then based on what their goals are, I help them come up with a business plan and come up with the right new client acquisition strategy. So by the end of the 14 days, they have the essential tools, systems, and strategy so they can start popping deals as soon as possible. Like my obsession is how can I get them popping a deal within their first 90 days, hopefully more like 30 to 60 days, at least clients and under contracts, right? And then part of onboarding is going to be resources. If you do not have a centralized place inside your organization for your agents to be resourceful, you will become the only resource. So then you become the, oh, hey, Josh, got a minute? Hey, Josh, got a minute? Hey, Josh, got a minute? No, I don't have a minute. I'm busy. But if you do not give a place for your agents to be resourceful, to get the answers, and you become the only resource, you will become the got-a-minute person. But you don't have time for that. That's not an effective, efficient way. It's not serving you. It's not serving your agents to get yourself, like you're just creating a massive bottleneck constraint and really lowering your capacity and minimizing the experience. If my agents have to come to me for every question, like you might think that it's nice so they can rely on me, but if, let's just say it's 10 o'clock on a Friday evening and I'm in bed, but I have a way that they can log in here and get that answer within a minute, where they don't have to rely on me, that creates a better experience for them, allows them to master this stuff at a higher level as well. Okay, so step number 7 is making sure that you are nailing your compensation structure. So nailing your splits. Huge mistake that team leaders make, and I made this mistake early on, is they just go out there and copy other team leaders. Well, you don't know what that team leader's situation is. You do not know what their overhead is. You do not know what there's so many moving parts here. So we want to reverse engineer this. Like my suggestion, what I do with all my coaching clients is I want to do everything we can to get you always operating and running at a 50% profit margin. And by profit margin, I mean money that you are collecting into your team account versus your expenses going out. So if you're spending $1 or you have $1 coming in, you're always retaining 50 cents of that. So we got to look at and assess. So when we know what your splits are, right? It's like how much value are you bringing in and giving to your agents? What's your overall overhead, right? Like let's break all this stuff down, but you need to reverse engineer this. You need to do this. You need to get this right. You need to, if you don't know how to do this, you need to be working with somebody that can help you do this. Because otherwise, dude, the margins can get thin really fast and you can go broke really, really fast. Okay, so number 8 is learning the power of ancillary services. So the top team leaders, as well as the top brokerage owners, they get and understand that company dollar from real estate deals is just one revenue source. So think of this like the movie theater, right? You go buy your movie theater tickets. Okay, that's one source of revenue. But then from there, same vertical, same software, same people, same location, same everything. What are they doing now? Now they're upselling you candy. They're upselling you soda. They're upselling you popcorn. They're upselling you alcohol. They have all these other things that they're upselling you. Every great operator, think of an airplane. Okay, you go buy your ticket, right? Then immediately you get there, they upsell you luggage, right? Then, okay, you're probably buying crap inside the terminal, whatever. Then you get on the airplane, you might be buying drinks, buying food, buying Wi-Fi. So every great organization outside of real estate also, if you break this down, okay, they have add-on other additional revenue centers that they're selling. You go to the grocery store, dude, all the way to the point where you're getting ready to check out, they're still trying to sell you shit as you are checking out to upsell you to buy more. So the key here is increasing revenue per ticket item per customer, right? So this is what I mean by ancillary services. So then, okay, what are complementary services that we provide to clients inside of our real estate business that us and our agents can be using to provide a better experience or a great experience for our clients and our customers that we can also earn additional revenue on? So the common ones in our industry are mortgage, title, insurance, home warranty, property management for some of you that want to go down that path. Now, the key here with the ancillary services is to do strategic partnerships so you're not creating another job for yourself. Let's just use mortgage as an example because this is a great moneymaker and a very popular one inside of our industry. So, okay, I'm not going to go get my loan officer license and then help a client buy the home and then also do the mortgage. I'm going to go create what's called a joint venture with a mortgage company where I become a 50% owner in that mortgage company, in that joint venture. Now, their job is to provide the loan officers, to provide the underwriters, to provide the processors. That's their job. My job is to feed our mortgage company buyer deals, right? So my only focus is to grow agent count, encourage our agents inside of our organization, right, to use our amazing vendor partners, and to grow transaction count. So we're feeding them more deals. So I'm not creating another job for myself. Then we replicate that with title. We replicate that with, there's so many different ancillary services that you can provide here and do this on, but with any of my top team leader or broker owner clients, like as soon as we can get them, and there are certain services that make sense to do at certain times when you're at certain sizes, but I want them having 5 revenue sources as soon as we possibly can get them up to. So many just try to build a business just off of splits, just off company dollar, but they're not taking advantage of those potential other 4+ revenue sources. Okay, so step number 9 is joining an amazing organization like I recently joined at EXP. Now, there's other ones of these out there, so I'm not going to make this podcast about EXP or a pitch to join EXP, but this is something that I wished I would have done right when I started my team. And again, there's other revenue share style companies like EXP. I'm just with EXP, so I'm going to use EXP as the example here. Okay, so how does this model help us accelerate our overall team growth? And if you look at EXP, just go out there and do your due diligence. Their tagline is where the pros go to grow, because they have every single top team leader out there. Not all of them. There's obviously top teams with other brokerages, but if you look at the majority, right, there's more top team leaders throughout the U.S., throughout Canada than any other organization at EXP. And why is that? Okay, so as a team leader, you exhaust all this time and energy going out there and recruiting agents. Then you recruit those agents onto your team. You spend all this time building up, right? Get them rock and rolling. You get them producing. Well, eventually they're going to leave. As a team, now you're going to have some lifers, but the majority are eventually going to leave. The majority treat teams as a stepping stone. So you get them to the point where they're popping 20 million, 30 million. They got their book of business. They no longer need you. They want to go on their own. They want to go build their own team. You get that call. I've got hundreds of these calls over the years of, hey, Josh, I appreciate everything that you've done for me. I wouldn't be where I am without you, man. You mean the world to me. I appreciate everything that you've done for me, but I'm ready to go on my own. But good news, I'm going to stay with the brokerage, right? So with a model like EXP, or if you go with one of these other, similar models to EXP out there, okay, well, that I now have a vested interest to continue mentoring that agent, right? But now I'm continuing. It becomes another income source for me out there because of that overall rev share. So it gives me a path to continue to coach, continue to mentor them, now I can help them go out there and build their mega teams and continue to get paid that residual, on there. Then from there, okay, rev share, not just from your own team, but then, okay, like I know so many team leaders that have been with EXP for a long time that are now making 30, 40, 50. I know several that are making over $500,000 every single month now through rev share, even with agents that they've been able to bring in and help recruit to the organization that aren't even with their team. So maybe I'm out there recruiting. I'm like, hey, you're not a fit for my team, but I think that you'd be great for EXP. Now I have another model to recruit to, not just my own team, where then now I can offset and expenses or just have another ancillary piece of income to come in. The other great thing is when you're building a team, look, you need everybody on the same focus. The reason why my team name is Revisto, Revolution Vision Together. And I'm always, sharing our vision with our teammates. And look, the reason why I came up with that name, Revisto, Revolution Vision Together, is because it's going to take, to create one of the top teams in the world, it's going to take a group of us working together, with the same vision of creating the best real estate experience that we possibly can. I need my agents going out there and promoting us. I need them going out there and helping me recruit other agents into the organization. So now, okay, before my agents would do it to help me out because they loved it and whatever, but now I'm able to help them build additional revenue sources because they're like, I've got a whole group of agents now collectively recruiting to the team, recruiting the organization. But when they recruit, right now they participate in the rev share. I still get the rev share. They get the rev share. It's just a model where everybody wins and it just accelerates and explodes growth. The other thing too is, okay, now that you're expanding locations, if you choose to, maybe you're in Phoenix, now I want to expand to Tucson, then I want to expand to Flagstaff, then maybe I want to expand to, Las Vegas, right? And have this expansion team with a model like EXP, man, I got one team split. 16 grand that I pay a year, one cap, doesn't matter how many states that I'm in, doesn't matter where I expand my team to, dude, I got one, so it allows me to scale and expand at a fast rate. So number 9 is I highly encourage you, whether it's EXP or another one of these style where everybody gets to win kind of organizations, it will help you greatly accelerate your team. I wish to God I did it 10 plus years ago. The second I found out about them, I was skeptical like so many of you out there in the beginning though, so I didn't make the move soon enough, but I'm here now and excited to be here now. So these are the 9 steps to build, scale, and grow a profitable real estate team. Again, make sure to check out gsdmode.com for more additional free resources and trainings. And if you want to have a conversation with me about EXP, about partnering together, where you can get all of my mentorship, all my coaching, all of my training, full access to me. Because look, if you partner with me at EXP, I have a vested interest in making sure that you crush it and you grow. Doesn't matter where you're located in the U.S., doesn't matter where you're located in North America. We're also in 22 countries. If you want to have a conversation about partnering together, working together to explode your real estate business, you can also go to gsdmode.com/partner and schedule a Zoom call with me there where we can have that conversation. All right, guys, hope this is helpful. Keep crushing, keep kicking ass, and I will see you next time. Peace.